Well, it's me, IGCT. A little report on doing the senior games, the senior Olympics. There's 3 bronze third place medals, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first place gold medals, and over here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second place medals. My wife says I like to compete, and that's true. It's true as true can be. And you know how people that compete are, they like to win. And that's the most medals I've ever won in a single senior games season. It's also true that I took advantage of the fact that this old boy is the baby 18-year-old. There was a couple of us, but you know, I'm younger than the ones I was competing with in general, and that does make a difference. I'm fumbling around trying to mount this camera back on the tripod. There we go. Entered 19 different things. That's pretty ridiculous. But I didn't enter anything I didn't think that I might have a chance in, either because I could do it or because when you get past 80, you don't have as many competitors as you used to have. I think the largest group I competed in was 8, maybe 10, and that would have been in some of the more table-like things, or like darts and bean bags, which are not requiring much in the way of physical strength. And sure enough, anything that required physical strength I didn't do very well in. I don't know how many total, you know, starting with 50 and going up to over 90. In fact, one gentleman still competing over 95, doing well. If I was competing against him, I'd beat him part of the time, and he'd beat me part of the time. It's been an interesting thing to see that with the economy, yep, the numbers are down this year. Part of that's also due to the fact that the last 2 or 3 years we had a gentleman in charge that he just rubbed us wrong and made people feel it wasn't any fun. Got Big George back this year, and with Big George it's always fun. Those third place medals were in softball throwing, ping pong doubles, and the other one I think was throwing the discus or the shot. And the seconds were in pinochle, softball hitting, dominoes, the shot put, bowling ball throw. And the golds were the basketball long shots, the 25-yard free swim, the beanbag toss, badminton doubles, darts. And you know, it is sad to me that my very favorite thing, the thing I've won in the most often in the past, basketball free throws, I couldn't hit a free throw, I think, if they'd have hung me above the basket. Then turned around and easily blew out the competition on long shots, where I usually don't do as well. Go figure. But that's the way it is when you look back when you were a kid and could run and jump as hard as you ever could in your life. And sometimes you had a terrible game personally and you still were on the winning side. And sometimes you had a very good game and were on the losing side. Sports isn't all one way. Makes it very fun to watch and see what's going to happen. I probably won't enter 19 things next year like I did this year. Some things I didn't get anything in were nail driving, javelin. Like I said, my favorite, the free throws, shooting pool. Shoot a little pool back at the senior center in Kansas and thought I might do all right. I got beat and beat bad 2 times straight, then you get to go home. George says come back next year. Football, passing and punting. Never was a punter. But there have been years when they used to do it. Football was 3 events. You did all 3. You punted, you placed kicked, and you passed. And I've won medals in that in prior years. Sure didn't this year. They measure only the longest throws in that, and in the softball hitting and throwing, and my strength is down, partly because I've been sick here in these last couple of months. I guess it's the flu, still hanging on. Lots of sinus drainage and so on. Didn't do any good in horseshoes. There was a horseshoe pitcher. I throw a few. But horseshoe pitchers, that shoe is always, rare exceptions, always facing to go for the ringer when it gets to that peg sticking out of the ground, that steel bar. Mine, you throw it and it might be facing this way, that way, or up in the air, but it gets there. And I get, for being close, once in a while, none this year, but once in a while, and I get a ringer. But it's not surprising that I didn't do well in that. Table tennis singles, I'm pretty fair if you don't get into the table tennis players. I'm a fair ping pong player. The guys that we played with, like today in doubles, this is the last day of the competition for me, is the reason I'm giving my little report. The 2 couples that Harvey and I played, the 2 pairs of men, holy mackerel, they could have beat us using their feet, I think. Oh, they were good compared to us. Harvey's better than me. I didn't win any medal in table tennis singles because Harvey beat me for 3rd, my partner. My partner's quicker. His reflex is much better. I have maybe better shots if I get on them. I also discovered today, get off of these doggone bifocals when you play ping pong. I don't know how many times before I finally just took my glasses off in disgust, I completely missed the ball because I see it there and then I look down and see it through my bifocals, and where I hit is not where the ball is. Pretty embarrassing. Anyway, it's been fun. Probably won't enter 19 events next year. Hope I'm well enough to enter some. It's been fun this year. Thank you, Big George and Lene, Mr. Cox, and all the rest of the gang.